Okay, hello. Let's do this. Um, so happy to be with you all today. Um, had a brilliant conversation with my right hand, Gia, and we thought when it's difficult to fit in the 7 p.m. readings, it might be difficult for people to join live at that time as well. So we're going to change it up. The readings are going to be at different times. As always, the replays are available for anyone who wants to follow along with their book or just listen later. And again, as always, please feel free to engage, share your thoughts. This is a conversation we want to extend far beyond just this Zoom and YouTube live. We want it to be something that people are digging into and being honest about and sharing what they've learned or what works for them so that you never know when that might help somebody else who's feeling like they don't know what the next step is to take care of themselves. Um, just realized I'm going to make sure everything's working right. Okay, let me see. I'm not sure. Yay, Gia's here. I keep Gia on her toes. I think we changed the time for this live reading about 4 times. So I'm grateful that Gia is here to engage with you, answer any questions, to yeah, just make sure everything's covered because there is a delay when you're recording it, and I will hop over at the end of the reading in case there's any conversations or questions or discussions to be had. Um, there was another reason I was hoping Gia was there, and then as soon as I saw her, um, I forgot. So that's a-okay. Today we are jumping into chapter 9. So grab your book, grab your copy, and open it up. Big joke, my first batch of books that went out um, as a new author. I'm not embarrassed to say I forgot to add page numbers. And to humble myself, I maintain using the one without page numbers. This is the one I keep for myself. I do have numbered copies as well, but just know one day it might be a collector's item. So you want to hold on to it. Maybe still get yourself another one with numbers. But it's funny because then to say, we're going to pick up on chapter 9, but I cannot tell you a page. You got to do that work. All right. And I'm so happy you're here, Gia. So lucky to have her in my life and in my business. This is just amazing. All right. So we're going to dive in. Um, for chapter 9, it is starting the third part of the book. Okay. So when I was writing this book, I decided to break it into 5 parts. And anybody who knows me, it's ridiculous, but I love the number 8. So we have 18 chapters. If I had to stretch it out, if I had to come up with more stuff, I wasn't going to stop at 8. I had to keep going. So part 3 is going to be where we start for chapter 9. The focus of part 3, thriving through growth and success. All right. The focus is moving beyond survival mode to embrace growth, step into your potential, and build a life that aligns with your values, ambition, and well being. Mm. Delish. I love this focus. All right, chapter 9, pushing through the potential threshold. Hope you're ready. We're diving in. Here we go. Trying to keep these a decent time block so that if you're like me, you like to speed people up a little bit. Although I am a fast talker, I don't know what that would be like. Um, I do appreciate you for watching. And I do really mean it when I say, as you're hearing these stories, when I'm meeting people in person and they're hearing me read this or they're hearing me share stories, every single person has come up to me to tell me their related story or experience or what came up for them. And it's just so powerful because then it starts a conversation of everybody around us. That's what we were wanting to create with these live readings. Okay. That's the whole point of us sharing this on live and YouTube so that you can have that community feel again. And being vulnerable is the bravest thing you can do because inevitably it teaches somebody else. Somebody else benefits from your strength and your wisdom. All right, just go, Kate, get into it. All right, growth isn't comfortable, and that's the point. There's a moment in every journey where you feel stretched to your limit. It can feel uncomfortable, frustrating, scary, and full of doubt. You question whether you're making progress at all or if you're just spinning your wheels. Everything in you wants to retreat to what's familiar, to what's safe. That moment, that's the potential threshold. The potential threshold is where you outgrow your old patterns, mindsets, and limits. It's the space between where you've been and where you're going. The moment where the version of you that got you this far is no longer enough to take you where you want to go. It's uncomfortable because growth requires change, and change challenges everything because we believe, or change challenges everything we believe about ourselves and our potential, right? Anytime we're challenged, think about anybody who rebuffs, rebukes your opinion, your belief, your approach. Like, look at what's happening with politics or every subject under the sun, how the world can become so divided. We do that internally. When you've held on to a belief for so long, you feel like it's got to be true because I've had it for so long. It can be very uncomfortable to question your beliefs, even if they're limiting beliefs. So have patience with yourself and be aware, expect it. That way you won't be shocked and surprised and feel like that's another sign. Okay. Now, um, I've faced this threshold more times than I can count, whether it was stepping into entrepreneurship, advocating for my child within the medical system, or pushing through self doubt. The discomfort was always the same. But along the way, I learned that resistance isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path, it's a sign that you're expanding. Each challenge brings an opportunity to gain wisdom, making you stronger as you move forward. There's no failure, only the chance to step into something new. Why the potential threshold feels like a struggle. Growth is rarely a smooth linear process, right? Probably heard that a million times. It's messy. Some days you feel unstoppable, like you're finally stepping into the person you were meant to be. And then on other days, you feel like a fraud, questioning whether you're capable at all. This is because growth forces you into the unknown. And the unknown is where fear lives. You doubt yourself because you've never done this before. You overthink every decision, afraid of making the wrong move. You crave the comfort of old habits, even if they no longer serve you. But here's what I want you to remember. Discomfort isn't a sign to stop. It's a sign you're on the verge of something bigger. Instead of expecting yourself to be perfect at everything new, see this as an opportunity to master the skills, habits, and mindset needed to become the next level version of yourself. Growth isn't about getting it right the first time. It's about becoming the person who keeps going until they do. How to push through the potential threshold. One, recognize the resistance for what it is. When you hit resistance, your instincts might be to pull back. But what if you reframed it? What if, instead of seeing discomfort as a warning sign, you saw it as proof that you're on the right track? It's kind of like riding a roller coaster that scares the bejeebies out of you. I said bejeebies, and then when it got proofread, a couple people said bejeebers. I've never heard this before, but guys, I bent, I let it in. Scares the bejeebers out of you. Bejeebies. The first time is terrifying. The second, still exciting, but a little less scary. You know where to expect the big drops and when you'll be flipped upside down. The fear doesn't disappear, but it becomes familiar. When you expect resistance and believe in the payoff that comes from pushing through, it takes less energy to take the next big step forward. Think about the moments in your past when you grew the most. Were they easy? Probably not. Were they worth it? Absolutely. Number two, stop waiting to feel ready. Growth doesn't come with a permission slip. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll be waiting forever. Readiness isn't a feeling. It isn't a feeling, it's a decision. One more time for the people in the back. Readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. Sometimes you won't get the luxury of easing into change. You'll be pushed into the deep end, forced to figure it out as you go. But when you trust yourself, when you've built a history of following through, adapting, and rising to the occasion, you realize that opportunities to elevate are everywhere, often appearing when you least expect them. Honestly, you won't have all the answers. You won't know exactly how things will unfold, but you don't need certainty to take the next step. You just need courage. And I promise you, more opportunities will present themselves when you are focused on finding them. Just like if you're focused on finding comfort, you will find comfort everywhere. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's be intentional. You've only got one life, and it's short, and it goes by in a blink. We don't want to comfort. We don't want to just sit. We got things to do, people to see, places to go, impacts to make, lives to change. Okay, number 3, let go of the fear of failing. Fear of failure is one of the biggest barriers to growth. But if we really think about it, what's the worst thing that could happen? You make a mistake? Great. Now you've learned something. And that's priceless because most people let their fear stop them before they even start. At least you had the courage to try, which already puts you ahead of those still waiting for the perfect time, for the perfect moment. You don't need to get it right the first time. That's part of the process. To be honest and kind with yourself. Oh, be honest and kind with yourself. Instead of focusing on perfection, be proud that you're showing up and giving it your best effort. Growth isn't about getting it right immediately, it's about getting better over time. Someone else has an opinion about it. I'm just so happy. I don't know why. So I'm not even reading the way I wrote. I'm reading it happily. Okay, this was a question. Someone else has an opinion about it? That's their business, not yours. As I always tell my clients, if someone isn't where you want to be or hasn't done what you want to do, their opinion should hold no weight in your decisions. The only real failure is staying stuck because you were too afraid to try. Number 4, last one, anchor yourself in why you started. When things get hard, when doubt creeps in, when you feel like giving up, remind yourself why you started. What was the desire that you had? What was the goal? Who are you becoming in the process? Another powerful reflection is to consider the alternative. What happens if you quit? It's easy to forget about how suffocating your previous situation felt, how unfulfilled you were, and how much your soul was craving something more. You didn't come this far just to settle back into what was slowly draining you. In your mind, go back to the days that pushed you to take the chance in the first place. Feel it. Remember the discomfort, the longing, the desire for something different. Our emotions drive us, so use them to your advantage. Growth is rarely about the end result. It's about the incredible person you are becoming along the way. All right, as always, final thoughts. You're closer than you think. The potential threshold isn't a stop sign, it's a sign that you're on the verge of something new. The discomfort, the doubt, and the fear, that's part of the package. The difference between people who grow and people who stay the same isn't talent, luck, or perfect timing. It's the willingness to keep going even when it's uncomfortable. So don't turn back now. Push through. The desired version of you is waiting on the other side. Reflection prompts. The end of every chapter, you guys know the deal. Have reflection prompts, things I want you to try on. It's like you just looked at a new outfit for the first time, new perspective, and you're going to try it on and see how it feels. Does it feel right to me? Do I agree with it? Does it make me think of anything else? Do I realize something? These reflection prompts I called crossing your own threshold. Okay, I think there's 4 of them. First one, what areas of your life feel like you're hitting the potential threshold? Mhm. Where? Tell us. Share. Where are you feeling that discomfort of growth? Okay. That's very, very, uh, that's a very, very wonderful place to be. All right. Two, what does resistance usually look like or feel like for you? Only we know. I used this example a while back. Can't remember if it was during these readings or if it was in another recording or video, but um, that whole uh, what does resistance actually feel like for you? I was talking to somebody about that example of when you don't want to do something, you're nervous. Maybe it's about like a social event and you're worried about the people who will be there and how you're dressed and how you look and how it's when we have those feelings and we think, oh God, I wish it would just be canceled. I wish the weather would change so I couldn't go. I wish the host would call and say that I don't need to come. And then how often does that actually happen? All of a sudden, something spontaneously happens and that thing you've been dreading gets canceled. I have that happen all the time. And it's like the power of your thoughts, the power of your energy. And what a sad thing because you probably lost out on an opportunity. If you were nervous about it or feeling that resistance, there was probably something at that event that you needed to lean into. And yet we can self-sabotage by wishing and hoping and making it so that we actually get sick or we actually have a problem or our car actually breaks down because we were in an accident. You know, we can manifest so many different issues to keep us in our comfort zone. So you are the only person who knows what that looks like when you're resisting. It's such a personal and private thought experience. So you got to catch it for yourself. But what are the typical signs for you? Number three, where are you still waiting to feel ready before taking action? Number four, what's one fear that's held you back? And how can you reframe it? How can you reframe it from the potential for the worst case scenario to the potential for your best case scenario? As opposed to it being a weakness of yours, how could it become a strength? Reframe it. Tell us which of these are you doing? Like any of them. Share what you can, what you feel sparked to share. Somebody needs to hear it from you. All right. These are really powerful reflections, and you don't have to do it on the spot with us right now. If you're watching the replay, take some time with each one. If you have the book, just take the reflections. And I say, like, you want silence, you want quiet, light a candle or play some soft music that doesn't distract you and allow yourself to think deeper. Allow yourself to be with yourself and ask these questions because you have the answers and they might surprise you when you bring them up, when you write them out, when you say them out loud. That's when the game changes, when you're honest with yourself and you know what you need to do. All right, that's the end, guys, of chapter 9. We're going to go on to chapter 10 next week. And I don't know what time yet. We will definitely figure that out as we look at the next week. We're going to try to play around with some different lunch hours or mornings all over the place. And I'm gonna say it's for you guys. You know, variety gives you options, but truly it's because our own schedules. Gia and I are trying to coordinate a lot of different exciting projects and things that we have on the go. I'm gonna pop over. Love seeing you there, Gia. That's amazing. Okay, and even if you are watching the replay, hop in the chat. We are notified. We will come back and we're always on here and we want to be able to engage and interact with you and hear your brilliance. All right, so that's all we have for today. Thank you so much for following along. For those of you who purchased the book, for those of you who purchased the ebook, we are forever grateful to you. Please, if you have gone through the book, I've received quite a few messages from people saying they just finished it. Um, we would always love a review or feedback on the book. Amazon reviews, fantastic way to help us spread the word. And yeah, if you have any speaking opportunities, if you're somebody who is responsible for hiring keynote speakers or facilitators when it comes to mental health and resilience and um, really living your best life while maintaining your well-being, making sure that your wellness is part of your goals. This is something that I have dedicated my life to. So please also reach out. We would be happy to talk with you about different opportunities to collaborate and partner. All right, that is everything for today. Gia, my love, thank you for being on. I appreciate you so much. And we will see you.